Greetings, kindergarten. Yesterday we read this story called Ants and Their Nests. We were able to learn that ants live in colonies, that they live underground, and that they use this something about silk to stick things together. I don't remember everything out of this book, kindergarten. That's why we're going to read it again today. And we're going to take a closer look at these ants and how they build their nests. Our comprehension skill this week, kindergarten, says, I can use clues to draw conclusions. So when you use clues to draw conclusions, you're kind of like a detective. So I have some items here today, kindergarten. I have peanut butter, I have jelly, and I have a loaf of bread. These are your clues. Can you figure out what I am going to make with these items? I made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, of course, kindergarten. See how you can use your clues? I had those 3 items out, and you were probably like, I know what you do with bread, peanut butter, and jelly, and you were right. I absolutely made myself a sandwich. Kindergarten, we have 2 new words to learn today. Let's go check them out. Your first new word today is colony. A colony. So a colony is just another name for group. So when ants live together, it's called a colony of ants. Can you find a picture up here that shows a colony of ants? Here we go. Right here, kindergarten. This has a lot of ants in it. This picture has a lot of ants. This one does too, but we're going to see what that means in just a little bit. This is a colony of ants. Ants that live together are called a colony. You could even say, since you live in your house with your family, that you're like a colony. You're a group of people. You are a colony. You're a family. Kindergarten, our next word is underground. Underground. Do you see anything that is underground? This colony of ants is underground, kindergarten. I'm going to put this one right down here at the very bottom. They are underground. Underground just means that you are below the ground. You're down, you're under, and you're in the ground. Underground. Can you think of any other animals that live underground? Our story from yesterday is called Ants and Their Nests. So we're going to read this story again. I know we read it yesterday, and you might be thinking, Miss Stellar, I don't need to listen to this story again. But I want you to, because if we read a story twice, we gain more information. We learn more. Our brains remember more. So that's why we always read our stories twice, kindergarten. So our story is called Ants and Their Nests. Our author is Linda Tagliaferro. Oh my goodness, Miss Stellar. Tagliaferro. If you don't pronounce a word right the first time, just try again. Tagliaferro. And she had help from Gail Saunders Smith, who is a doctor. I wonder what she studied to become a doctor. Do we have an illustrator for this book, kindergarten? We do not, because these pictures are real. They are photographs. Do you remember who takes pictures? A photographer. But I don't see the name of a photographer on the front cover of our story. We could always look it up. Here we go, kindergarten. Building nests. Ants live in nests. Ants build their nests in the spring or fall. Why don't they build them in the winter? The ground is frozen in the winter. You can't really dig anything in the winter. And the summer, they probably want to get everything ready by the summer because it gets hot, and they probably want to make sure that they have a nice, cool place to live. So they build their nests in the spring or fall. It's springtime right now. I bet those ants are out building their nests. Some ants build nests in 5 days. Other ants take months to build their nests. Would you build a big or little nest in 5 days? Probably a smaller little nest. What about a big nest? That'd probably take you a few months. Look at this nest, kindergarten. Whoa, that's pretty big. Some ants build nests with leaves and sticky silk. Other ants build nests in soil or wood. So they build nests in different places. So leaves and Sticky silk. Do you know where they get the silk from? Their bodies make it. So I want you to think about like Spider-Man. You know how Spider-Man shoots out his web, his spidey web? That's kind of what ants do. They do a very similar thing to spiders. They make this silky stuff, but instead of making a web, they use it to stick their nest together. These ants are called tailor ants. If you tailor something, that means you build it or you change it. Ants dig tunnels underground or inside trees. They build chambers in the tunnels. Ants store food and raise their young in the chambers. A chamber is like a hallway. It's just like a tunnel, like a hallway underground. These are yellow ants. Why do you think they call these yellow ants? Probably because they're yellow. Colonies and eggs. A colony is a group of ants living together in a nest. We learned that word today. Hundreds and thousands of ants live in a colony. These are red ants. So if you see one ant out and about all by itself, don't be fooled, because that ant is going to go home to its colony with other hundreds or thousands of ants. Look at all of those ants. Kindergarten, what would you do if you came upon a big colony of ants? Don't poke at them. Leave them alone. They are busy working. The queen ant lays her eggs in the nest. Worker ants take care of young ants. It's kind of like they're babysitters. So this is the queen ant. Can you tell she's the queen? She's so big. And these are her babies. These are all of her little baby ants. And it looks like there are some eggs around. Some eggs. So when the eggs hatch, they become larvae. And then the larvae will grow to baby ants, and then those ants will get bigger. Oh, and these are called fire ants. These bite. You don't want to mess with fire ants. Staying safe. Some ants close the opening to their nest with pebbles. The pebbles keep out other animals. That reminds me of something we talked about a few weeks ago. There was this time where they rolled this big stone in front of like a tomb. That's how they kept people out of Jesus' tomb after he died, kindergarten. Well, these ants had a really good idea. They decided that they would do the same thing. They put pebbles in front of the opening to their home, to their nest, to keep out other animals, other bugs that might eat them. Can you think of a bug that might eat an ant? A grasshopper would eat an ant. These ants are called harvester ants. Some ants put twigs on top of their nests. The twigs keep out rain. That's really smart. What do we have on top of our houses that keep out rain? We have a roof. We have a roof. It's usually made out of wood, and then we have shingles up there. There's usually some kind of, what do I want to call it? Oh, grown-ups, help me out. What do I want to call it? Oh, Miss Dollar will think of the word. But look at these ants. They are using twigs to keep out the rain. Oh my goodness. Wow, kindergarten. So we learned a lot about ants. Ants are really super smart. Ants use a lot of stuff they have around them. They use twigs, they use pebbles, and then they use stuff that they make like silk. They use silk to help stick it all together. So kindergarten, if you were an ant, where do you think you would live? And what would you build your nest out of? And if I think of the word that I'm trying to think of, I will definitely let you guys know. Before I let you go, I owe you a warm fuzzy for today, and I was thinking of the word insulation. Insulation, of course, helps when we have our roofs. All right, kindergarten, now I will let you go. I'll see you guys later.